Didn't identify them, did
Well,
Admit him and then ask him to.
let's,
John will have to do that.
okay, this is the monthly board meeting of the Netarts-Oceanside Sanitary District, August 20th. I'm calling the meeting to order. This is being recorded. First item is approval of the agenda.
John
Yes,
hasn't been admitted yet. You're starting the meeting.
No, he's admitted.
he's
No,
admitted.
Oh, when I last looked up there,
It was trying to.
Okay, what, the next item is, yes, if you all would introduce yourselves again, please.
I'm Amber Ibarra. And I'm Diana Thomas.
And I don't know if you'd like us to, we will all introduce ourselves again from last month.
Okay.
And we have a gentleman online. It is identified as MM. Michael Miller, could you introduce yourself, sir? Sir, do you hear me? We have been alerted to the fact by SDAO and others that with the heightened security concerns that exist, there's been several attacks on water treatment facilities and others, that we have the right to ask that you identify yourself. And if you are unwilling to do so, we will block you from the meeting. So, sir, if you would identify yourself, and if not, we will block you from the meeting. All right, sir, we're going to go ahead and block you from the meeting. Try to.
And restart. And then not admitted.
Like you could leave, well,
We could wait.
it's gonna mess it up.
Got it.
Okay, it's going.
Work.
Yeah. let me make sure.
Okay. The we've had our guests. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, we're going to go back to approval of the agenda. And I would like to make one change for after Diana and Amber have been introduced, down to item 12 is correspondence, and it's their email under item A. And so I'd like to adjust the agenda to address and discuss that piece of correspondence under the public comments area, so that we don't drag them through the entire meeting unless they desire to be here for it. So if I could have a motion to approve the agenda with that one change.
Make a motion to approve with the one change as noted.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, so we're in the public comments period. Is there anything that you both would like to say to the group?
I'm getting, I don't know the reason right now.
No.
But I did not have the pictures. It took me a minute. But I did go to the library and get the printout. So this one may be nothing. But we do have, she said that that's from electrical, so maybe this is not. So we do have the pictures of, I don't know who needs to see. To show that those are the sewers that are not connected.
Those are going up to the yurt. She wanted to make sure that those did not have sewer.
So I just want to make sure that you have those, because those are the sewers, how they are all the time.
Well, these aren't, we have to go up there and verify it.
Okay,
Because you can take pictures of anything.
Or you can come here and find out. You just need to let me know when you
Yeah,
guys.
but
Oh,
usually
that's fine. It's
we
not-
take pictures and we verify it.
Is this the Netarts property?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, by the way, I wasn't here last month.
Amber.
Nice to meet you. Amber.
so this
Yeah.
is just an addendum to your email? It's just-
Yeah.
Yes,
that-
yes, sorry,
yeah.
yes, I couldn't get them. So we took over John Peck's property and, we're just trying to fix the
I'm
situation.
right across the street at the fire station. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm Diana. I think I've met you a few years back.
Yeah.
but a lot of
We've
stuff.
been running for this.
Yes, yes, we have also just
Yeah.
trying to get a hold of everything.
So I didn't know if there was any questions. It's my first time writing a proposal, I'm not a professional here. I'm just learning, so I didn't know, if there was something that I missed putting in, if there was anything that, needed to be answered. And also we wanted to make sure you got the pictures and, so that way whatever you decide, we can move forward and be coming and getting whatever pictures you need to get. And, that way we can get whatever information is not professionally in there,
And yeah, they can come up anytime.
Yeah.
And set up with them to come up and look at, we don't have anything like that.
No. I'm sure others will have comments also, but in reading what you proposed, I'm really sorry to hear what your families have experienced. That's, nobody should have to go through a lot of that. But in looking at this, I did also note, I guess you've been a nonprofit for a little less than a month.
Mhm.
That you've just,
We only opened a nonprofit.
formed
Yeah.
that organization.
Yeah.
And the records that we have or that we access show that John Henry is the owner.
The property.
Yeah,
Until I can get the nonprofit functionally bringing in, consistent revenue. Like I put in there, we did rent out the places, so we're starting to build that. But it's only been a month and everything we've gotten in, we've had to put out for many different things, we're just barely staying at a floating level. And so, I don't have the opportunity yet to purchase that property over from him, which is the goal. And I guess I could have put that in there, which I'm sorry I didn't.
No, it's okay.
Honestly, if you want me to write something else up, I there's just so much going on. It's not a fix up with it. So absolutely the goal is to purchase the property from John. But right now,
And I can't.
with it being so new, I don't have the ability to.
so maybe I'm incorrect here, but my understanding is that if there's fees due, such as our charges, that those would go with the property when it's sold, and that would be paid either by John Henry or by the buyer. Is that probably correct?
They attach to the property. It's like I guess you're looking at trying to set up some kind of nonprofit that doesn't exist yet, that's going to operate
Well,
on the
We're
property.
just waiting for the Secretary of State to send us the
yeah,
approval.
we've got
No,
everything else approved at this
with-
point.
With Oregon, it is a valid nonprofit. I looked it up.
Okay, okay.
Yes, yeah.
So basically it's somebody else asking for a deferral of a debt that you don't have. John Henry has it.
Yes.
And so he is the one that would be asking us for this exception.
Yeah.
And he's not here.
The problem is that John has given her the property to run now. He doesn't, he's
But
relinquishing.
okay, I have to stop you because, no, he hasn't.
Okay.
He still owns it.
Yes. Yes.
That's the legal thing we have to.
No, I understand the legal part that you're in.
Yeah.
What would you have to see legally showing that he is turning a piece of property to where I have the option and have an
The thing is, we don't have the ability to purchase it over right now. So until we can, he's given us the opportunity to stay there, take over the property and acquire all of its everything's, that's assets, everything. Until we can turn over those assets and be able to purchase it from him. But we can't change anything legally because we can't purchase it from him yet. So we went to find out how we could get it changed to our names, but they won't allow it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I think this is a catch-22 you're going to face. We can't legally give you an exception to a debt or give you terms to a debt you don't owe.
Right.
So
I think
you're not dealing with us.
Okay.
You're not property
Yeah.
on this particular property.
I'm gonna step out of my board second speakers as the fire chief. That we don't need to be, and this is coming as the fire chief, not as a board member here, but this isn't to be dismissive. I personally have had many issues with John Henry on that.
Oh, yes.
And so it's not anything that's aimed towards you two ladies or about your presentation.
Oh, I don't take it that way. I happen to know who John Henry is very well
So it's
and
kind
what
of the
he's
thing.
done and
Honestly, John's just
Pause.
waiting for us to be able to get our legal bank account and get our things set up, so that way we can put on paper, you know, that he's selling that property
and
to my
put me
company.
on the trust of that property. Will that make any difference?
Well, it doesn't guarantee it. We'd be able to do what you ask,
Okay,
but it would be the bare minimum before we could even entertain looking at it.
okay.
Because it's like a neighbor across the street asking us.
Even for
Is
any
there-
kind of a payment plan
What about a grant?
to be able to,
We can only deal with the owner of the property.
okay,
Okay,
So you would need to do whatever it takes to become the owner of the property. We can give it to you, but the deed would have to be passed and it has to be
Okay.
recorded. And even then, we would have to then look at your request
sure.
on the merits. But before we can even consider it, we can't.
So the real
entertain
question
this.
is taking that into consideration, it may not happen in the next month. What does that look like for this bill that's sitting here waiting that, we just want to make sure that it's clear that we want to render this situation and we don't want to just leave it sitting there in the lurch while we're trying to figure out, the paperwork for our end, right? We don't want anybody to think that it's not a big deal, and John's no longer here. He's no longer involved. It's,
we
so,
know it's a big
so
deal.
we can tell you exactly.
That's why we're
That's why we're
here.
here. So, I mean, I can do whatever, I can, she can talk to John, I can find out whatever I need to do and whatever needs to be gotten in free.
I'm looking at
contact that,
selling
but-
a lot of his items. Yes,
I think bottom line is all of those
You guys
additional
can't
things
help.
that you're going to,
okay,
whatever it's going to take for you to be able to do it, you need to stand in the shoes of the person that owns the property. And we are hearing you about the difficulties and no one here is challenging your intent or your good or what you're probably going to try to do it. It's just legally, we can't forgive or extend a debt you don't have because you're not the property owner.
Right, okay.
And and if anything is done on this debt, if we were having to take enforcement action on it, collection action, likewise, we couldn't do it to you. You're not the property owner.
Okay.
We can only do it to John Henry. So we can neither forgive nor enforce a debt against anybody
Okay.
but the property owner. And is that-
So
okay, that's-
the other caveat from the district side, when was the STC build out?
Sorry, I don't remember.
Okay, so,
We got a bill last month, I think.
okay, so
June or.
I can't remember what the exact time is, but after like 30 days, if it's not paid, I issue a $500 fine and then I double user fee. That's by our ordinance. I've not done that yet. Okay, so that's normally how we do it. The only, and again, because it's all in John Henry's name,
We've reached that.
And then if it's not
Literally
paid-
our wall.
yeah, by the end of June,
Now, you guys do have a grant that is available at the beginning of the term, right? Your term year or something like that for sewer sometimes?
still not in our name.
Oh,
I
you
can
don't-
get that changed.
I don't know what grant you're talking about.
You might be talking about the assistance
It's
program.
free.
It's for
You were talking about the state.
That's
through
the county.
The county is.
Okay.
Oh, the county. Okay,
Okay.
got us. Sorry.
Yeah.
Red tape.
That's different.
Red tape.
Still a lot of red tape and a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So the main thing is I need the property in my name.
I think that would be your cure-all.
And I would presume that in the process of getting it in your name, there would be negotiations about what happens to the debts that
Yeah,
exist.
yeah,
Because again, you did not incur that debt.
no,
So you have one option that might brighten your day. If you disconnect the sewer from that, what you've been invoiced for,
Okay,
You can dig it up, disconnect it, we can come down and we can verify it's disconnected. We will cancel the SDC charge and there will be no sewer charge.
Okay,
But you have to physically disconnect it.
And that has to be verified.
And then,
Well, of course.
yeah, the staff will have to come down, the operators have to come down and have to verify that it's disconnected.
And then when we come up with the 11,000,
Then you can reconnect.
reconnect.
That's your cleanest option until you get it in your name.
is it hard to disconnect? I've never disconnected. Have you-
No, they'll come.
Well, you guys will have, no, you'll have to dig it up, cut it off,
I
cap it
know
off,
where it's at.
Okay,
cap it off. You better cap both ends.
okay.
Caps aren't very much money, you just.
Yeah, it's just like the other ones.
And then, you'll have a 2-foot section or something, get in there and cut it off. Once it's disconnected, we verify it, and then we will cancel the SDC charge. And we won't go any further with collections.
Okay,
And Dan, given the history, might we need to go in and verify that it remains not connected?
Once they disconnect it, if they reconnect it,
You'll know.
we'll know.
Okay.
Because
People
it will-
living in it.
Okay, actually, that wasn't this.
And then, of course, any deals
I
off the
can
table.
literally- I
then
don't-
I-
you know, when somebody makes a mess,
So if you reconnect it without authorization,
No, I know.
all of this will be.
you'll
away.
get the, what is it, $11,000, and then you'll get fined, and then you'll get double user fees. So $95 times 2 a month
Yeah,
until you pay it up.
okay.
Which
That-
building are we talking about?
Guessing we're talking about the one over here on the jungle that's on the top property, the main property with the wood. There's a house over here on the side.
That
You're
brown one?
talking about the one that's the 488. Yeah, it's the little brown one over on the side.
It's on
We had
the
a
south
permit,
end of the
but we
house.
let it go.
There in the
It's
trees.
like a cabin off of the tree.
Corner,
Right.
almost in the
Yeah.
woods.
So
I actually had a permit and I actually have a permit to where I can actually get a driveway there and the whole bit. So I will get it all right and I'll get it all legal.
but the cheapest thing for you guys to do right now till you get the rest of it,
Disconnect,
just disconnect it.
unless I walk in with $11,000.
Unless you walk in with $11,000.
And we all know I've done that. One never knows,
Sorry, guys, are people.
Yeah,
you know?
I hope you feel heard. 'Cause
I don't feel anything negative. You
I know
we
John
understand
Henry.
what has been happened.
And I know what
has been
happened with John.
Painted for himself. It's just strugglingly because, there's life happening also.
Yep.
And then every time it's just like, oh, another wall. And it's understandable because, that's how things work.
This is the best option that we can legally
We can
do.
work with that.
Yes.
Because then that at least puts a pause on the money being collected and, any kind of, fees, because that's what I was really worried about. It's like,
Thank you for hearing us.
yes, thank you guys so much.
And I'll be in touch with
I
John.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. And, we'll call here and let you know as soon as it's disconnected.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's nice to meet you also. I'm telling you the truth.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we're done. Item 5. Board questions, comments, and discussion. Any thoughts? Gosh. If there are none. Review of minutes of July 16th. Regular board meeting minutes. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I move to accept the minutes of July 16th, 2026. Oh, go ahead, Jim.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
I did not see anything when I read over the minutes that jumped out at me and needed to be changed.
Just because there was a record and there was an issue at the time. Did John then go ahead and sign the documents that you needed signed after that meeting that we approved having him sign?
Yes,
After the meeting?
everything's been taken care of.
Okay, I just thought I'd
Yes,
close the
yes,
circle on that.
We're good.
So I'm not thinking it's immediate, but the operations summary of, it's a little over a year old. Probably at some point, we just probably need to update it a little bit. But that's just ongoing.
Because some of it I can recite from memory.
All right. All in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Hi.
Right.
June 30th. Financial documents reviewed, and the July 31st financial documents for review and approval. And motion to accept the July 31st documents.
Move to approve the July 31, 2026 document.
Second.
Discussion.
The $100,000 in red ink on page 8 is because we haven't gotten taxes yet.
I was read on the payments, so we're in the red right now, and we will be for a while.
It's a dramatic number. Other than that, I kind of expected it.
All in favor of approving the July 31st financial documents? Say aye.
Hi.
Right.
July 2026 board audit accounts payable for review.
You may have addressed this before, but $4,400 for streamlining the annual website agreement. I'm not sure what that means.
Our website.
It's an annual, we do it fire district also. Streamline is the company that SDA uses for their website stuff, and there's an annual.
So we use ADA requirements, to streamline.
And is that the component that makes it cost so much? I mean, I have a website, it's $300 a year. You're paying a third party to manage it, and that's $4,400. That's because probably there's some legal technical stuff that they're complying with for us. And if we did it ourselves, it would not be a good use of our staff time or legal research or.
They also manage the website that our customers pay
Our credit cards.
our credit cards through. They manage and do all the security risks for us, and everybody who registers an account, that's all through that same company.
Okay,
And
so
they
it's a
email
financial
directly.
transaction
Yeah.
website, not just an informational
Yeah.
website. Okay,
It's
thanks.
all tied, they all have different
Yeah.
people that are
I have a
tied.
feeling I might have asked that before, so I'm sorry.
I actually don't think you asked that one.
Okay.
The 16,000 for the effluent pump station is, remind me what that was.
That was a new pump,
Which pumps, which, where was that?
right down.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, right, the one we just,
Okay.
we just replaced.
So could you explain, and it's the next line down, with the HESCO stations, the fuel from town of 5,700, and then there's also NOSD's half of the fuel bill on the 28th for 1,700.
That's filling diesel for our generator, for all of our pump
Okay.
stations.
So that's diesel where the other was gas?
It could be gasoline or diesel on the other one, but that's not for the shared, that's just NOST's generators. We had to top them off early. You don't usually see this till October,
Okay,
but
okay,
because PUD had to shut our treatment plant or cut power off for 30 hours.
right. Okay, got it. That was
We had
topping
to,
off.
we had to top off everything.
Got it. All right.
Why did PUD cut us off for 30 hours? Was that part of the?
They were doing the tieback connection
Yeah,
from the substation. So they had to kill the power to the plant so they could pull the new cables,
yeah.
connect the new cables.
Does that mean that system is up and going?
I believe it's on. They're still working on it, so I don't know if it's functional.
I was told when I talked to the operations manager at the PUD that they were waiting for something at the substation, BPA and Pacific Power were gonna still tie something in, not at this substation, but the one in Tillamook.
Right. So the lines coming over, I do not believe are energized yet.
Right, but other than that, I was told it's ready to go.
It is, yeah.
No, yeah. They told me a year ago that the issue that was going to keep it from proceeding on schedule was something about EPA and someone else, and it isn't mechanical. It's
Well,
political.
Yeah, so what happened was where they planned to tie in off of BPA, they didn't get EPA's permission for it. But that's where they put all the poles and all the lines to. So they had to fix that one. Bottom line.
And there were.
And then they've got two of
that.
the poles are sinking, so they have to fix those.
Oh, out in the estuary? Oh, God.
Yeah, well, there's one right there beside Bay Ocean.
Yeah.
Right in this way. You'll see they've been excavating and working on that.
Mhm.
So they've had to go down, I think an additional 30 feet and re-support those poles. And there's two of them. I don't know where the other one's at. I'm assuming it's in the same area just across.
Oh, I was just thinking about all of the objections that were raised by the farmers to putting those out there, and then if they're sinking, what kind of a satisfaction that might have given them.
The only one I
Anyway.
witnessed sinking was the one off Bay Ocean Road. But there is two, yeah.
All right. If there's no other questions, district report.
Okay, the treatment plant's running up within its permit limits. The collection system, we've got a tentative schedule with as well come out so we can get clean on Fifth Street and some other streets behind it, but Fifth Street's got a large buildup of grit right there by the fire station. And we're gonna clean the grease out of the wet wells. So we're gonna schedule about, I think it's 4 days with them to come out and work. The main pump station, Xylem and an engineer from Xylem, they were here today and they went through the pump station. They made some adjustments to the, in the control panel for a limit switch, and they changed the elevation of when the pumps, shut off. They're believing there's still an issue with maybe cavitating and bringing in air, which is probably causing part of that, because where the influent comes in the pipe, it drops right there, almost right in front of one of the pumps. And they think the turbulence is creating air bubbles in there, which is being sucked up into the pipe and condensed. And that could be part of our problem. I still think it's electrical, but we'll see with the two adjustments, and they're gonna go back and do some more research.
Are they doing that? Are we being charged for that? Is that part of it?
We're not being charged
Okay.
for them, yeah. Well, if we have to have the automation group come and do electrical work, then we'll be charged for that. But right now, they're in here just inspecting the control panel.
Okay.
And then they don't invoice us for that.
Do they have what's the time frame on this?
Well, now we're in test mode, so we'll be testing it now for a while they go back and do more research on the control panel. If there's any other adjustments.
How long is a while?
We're probably gonna go, I'd like to see it go 3 to 4 weeks, 4 weeks preferably, without a flow fail. Before
I
I'm
mean,
willing to say that any of those
We've been dealing with this for 6
years,
years.
yeah, years.
And essentially every time Xylem's here, they say, we think it's this or that. And
Yeah, we've changed all the mechanicals out, so they're out of options of saying it's something on your side, it's not. So now they have to address this portion of it. And we need to know before the next control panel is designed, if there's a flaw in one of them that they do, or for the controllers, we need to know.
So it's actually in our interest for it to go a long time to see whether it happens again.
We've had it stop for a couple of weeks before, and we think, okay, we changed the pump, it's all good now, then it comes back. And the problem is, we're not there when it actually fails. So chasing electrical problems is difficult. The main pump station, battery generator, or the generator battery charger has failed, and it was overcharging and cooking the batteries, putting out over 30 volts.
nice.
So those batteries, the way the pump station is designed, and they're all designed this way, the batteries control, the generator batteries also control the, or run the controllers. They're 24 volt. So if you have a power outage, because there's always a lag time between the generator starting once power goes out, those batteries from the generator keep the control panel live. So it doesn't just do a hard shutdown on a PLC. So it's important that the flow charger, we have the one now that we did an external one and plugged it in, a battery tender. So it's monitoring now till we can get the one that's built in changed out.
And did that damage our batteries?
Hmm?
Did that damage our battery?
No, luckily it didn't. The one at the Ocean Highlands, it shorted out. It started putting out 30 volt and 12 volt, and it cooked the battery. It turned the battery almost looking like a football. It burnt it so bad. So, but those chargers are needed because there's a constant draw on those batteries. It's like if you drove the car in your driveway and shut it off and just left the headlights on. It's a constant draw on it. So we have to have the chargers on there.
Was it kind of standard lead acid batteries?
Yeah, those are. We're scheduling that along with our Ocean Island generator. It's been in a little over a year now, so we'll have it serviced and checked. And then we're gonna have the Netarts pump station serviced as well. Oil change, filters and all that, get it ready for winter. So I think we talked about this last month, the electrical bolts right out back here that are kind of collapsing on themselves. We're getting a schedule now, getting ready to make a schedule with Netarts Underground Tech. And they said they can come in and probably line that like we do line manholes and stuff. And then that will seal it from water leaking into it, but we're still gonna have to have a contractor come in, dig around the outside of it, and then pour concrete to reinforce the walls, because they're collapsing. So that would be step 2 once we get the coatings put in there. You saw a lot of attachments, the lower Avalon pump station, I'm on number 4. The Avalon pump station needs additional geotechnical work. If you drive down there, you will see it's all staked out where our property lines are. And there's some trees and brush that has to be removed so that we can get the drill rig in. We tried to use the geotechnical work that we did before, and those drills were 100 feet deep. It's changed now, the codes have changed, and we have to go due to earthquakes and stuff. We have to seismic. We have to now go 150 feet deep. So it's going to require additional drilling.
Yeah.
The drillings will be wherever the wet well goes in and wherever on the building where the generator sits. They have to because of the weight. So
Is that the $40,000
Yeah, so where up on the attachment, the email from Dean Muchmore says, please budget 43,000. That also includes the, just under $2,000 to have the, surveyors come out, which they already did.
Am I understanding correctly now, this is a new charge on top of what we already spent for geotech that at the time was deemed sufficient? This is a redo, or am I confusing that with another item?
It is, no, it is a redo of the geotech work that was done 20 years ago.
Okay, then I misunderstood the context,
Yeah.
because I thought what I was seeing was we had said something done fairly recently that was good at the time, and then since then the legislature changed the standard.
No, the geotech work usually stays valid, if you haven't used it. But the laws change.
Okay, if it was 20 years, then that's fine. I thought
Yeah.
it was like a year
Yeah.
ago or something.
No,
I was going, then they should have been monitoring the legislation that was working its way
No,
through. Okay,
So when we're asking the board is to approve the 43,000, the 41,000 will cover the geotech field work. And the other 2,000 we put in there for an estimate for the surveying that was done. So both lots are surveyed now.
but is this in addition to what we already budgeted to cover this?
So, yeah, so you budgeted for design. This wasn't put in for design because we tried to use the geotech work.
Okay, but it's an additional cost.
Yeah, so it's basically a change order.
And $40,000 change order.
40,000 dollars.
And this comes out of SDCs.
Yeah, and the ones for built this place.
I'm glad I didn't.
So on this foundation engineering letter, we anticipate the facility, the second page at the top, will be classified as a risk category 3 structure. I look at risk category 3 structures and we're talking hospitals, schools, we're talking threats to human life. I mean, we're building a little pump station. We're not building.
It's a sewer requirement.
What?
It's a sewer. It's a sewer.
It's a sewer.
It's a
Well,
big,
if it makes you feel better, we're talking about cholera.
yeah,
We're talking about life, health and safety.
yeah, it's a big well full of effluent that has to survive.
Let me tell you something. The tsunami comes along and there's an earthquake and it's gonna be crap all over the place.
I've been trying,
Yes or no?
I've been trying for a month to find a way out of this.
I-
But we can't.
Because
Without it, we can't get a building.
Yeah. we anticipate, we assume the study will meet the requirements. I mean, yeah, and we're the ones that are paying for all this on assumptions and anticipation. And the bottom line is, once they get this done, what is it gonna cost us to put in, what? Pound the steel or pound the, whatever it needs to be to as deep as we have to go?
Are you asking for a estimate on the entire project? Time
No.
done?
The part to
Seismically
create
stabilize it.
a seismically satisfactory situation.
Isn't that this?
No, this is just the drilling the hole to find out
This
what's
is
there.
just going in and basically doing let's see what's in the ground.
Yeah,
Core samples.
Yeah, core samples, exactly.
it isn't even,
So that the structural engineer then can engineer.
So what you're saying is to make poor life choices, they should have been an engineer, done in the seismic core.
So, and their depth that they're doing is based on an assessment that it will be required to be a risk 3 compliant structure, and that will be inspected and determined later. I'm
Yeah.
sharing your question.
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm getting. They didn't say, this is what it is. This is what we anticipate it to be. So what the hell are these engineers doing?
But Dan, but you are aware that's what it will be required to meet, right? This is.
You have to do it to find out if it's gonna be required.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Did they do it for the power station over here? This type of, geotech thing?
I don't know what they did for the power station. I know we did it here. We did it on this site.
Yeah, I know, which
Matter
met
of
the
fact, we
earlier
did it at three
standards.
sites.
They
Wow,
didn't
they're
necessarily go as deep as now what they require. They want you to go down, what, 150 or much deeper?
Well, now it's 150. Back then, down there, that required 100 feet. Now it's 50
What's
feet
another
more.
50 feet?
Yeah, for $40,000?
I just think it is a lot for more hole.
There's a lot.
Well,
There's gonna be 4 boreholes. There'll be 4 boreholes down there, is what there will be.
But, and this is also evaluating what they find when they get down there. It's the expertise that it takes to,
They
Yeah.
take the core sample, they take it to a laboratory. They
Analyze what soil. types,
Analyze it.
pollution.
as inch by inch.
Unfortunately, where we need to put a pump station is kind of the low
So-
point.
well,
And the low
that's on
point
purpose.
is also the spot we're supposed to
This
collect it
geotech-
for the longest.
This geotech work is gonna be required by Tillamook County before we can ever get a building permit. It's gonna be required anyway.
And they have an expert that can analyze this, because I'm willing to bet. Because you have to have a expert, and I'm not challenging you at all, Dan. But when I read through some of the other materials associated with this, there needs to be a person who is designated and apparently trained to analyze all this and make sure it works.
So we got a
Now,
lab
who in
fee.
the county is that person?
Well, I have no idea in the county.
Well,
I think they rely on the
County-
engineering.
And the engineering
They-
report's gonna,
yeah,
third
they
party, they're gonna
require-
third party charge a lab
Yeah.
fee.
The engineering,
It's a-
this geotech report will go with the structural engineer's report on the design of the buildings. So the structural engineer also needs to design how you're gonna place this. We did them down at the main. And under the main, Scott, under that wet well, you've seen how big the wet well is. There's 30 pilings under that one. And there's 50 under the building to hold it up. So
Yep.
it's not the first time I've done this. This is actually nothing
No.
compared to. what it used
And
to
even
be.
residential houses have to have geotechs that cost between 15 and 20,000.
and
Gosh,
I rest my
Goss,
case.
yeah.
I've said enough, but it's our system that is frustrating.
This is the lowest geotech cost I've ever gotten, so. But this is the smallest project I think I've ever done.
They do more than one test with it.
Yeah, yeah.
They do a compaction test is number one. And then they'll figure if it has any sand in it.
And where the sand is.
Where the
and if there's
sand is.
any, so this will tell you if it's required to have pilings. And how deep the pilings will have to go. I think down at the main, they had to go down
There you go, John.
38 feet.
So make you feel better.
They had to go down 38 feet.
He needs more sugar.
And they also have to find out how much water is in the ground. If there's any,
Yeah, so,
yeah.
because there's liquefaction.
So every project we've ever done, any pump station has required geotechnical work.
No,
Everyone.
and that's fine, but what you're saying is normally, you've said it yourself, it was done 20 years ago. And normally you could rely on that report, but because of these new requirements, now we have to do it again. And we gotta do it to 150 feet or bedrock.
If we did this 2 years ago, we wouldn't have had to do this extra geotech.
Okay, enough said,
I
sorry.
didn't like it either, but
Okay, you're hangry. We all
you know,
understand.
it's going to be a $1.3 million project before what the total cost is gonna be, including what we've already spent.
Much better.
They're hot cookies, man. They just keep the whole world together.
So I wanted to attach,
Together, Jerry. We could.
I wanted to attach everything so you can see what I've been working on in the checklist and all that. Yeah, so I need the board to approve the $43,000 request.
I move that we approve the $43,000 geotech work.
I'll second while John's chewing.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Don't let me riled up here. Now, where am I at?
Number 5.
Oh, number 5, okay. Fusion Center Logic, we have a meeting with them. It'll be the final setup. It's kind of been dragging on because we're having to bring IT into it to get this software onto our server cloud stuff. So, this will be the final step. It wound up taking a little longer than what we anticipated. We're still using the other stuff that we already bought, but this is just the final, get the rest software installed. Not asking for any more money. The new crane truck, we got the generator welder mounted on it. We went through the crane training on it, and for some reason the controller, we're not sure if for the wireless what had happened, but we need to replace the handheld wireless controller because right now we can't get it fixed. It works, but up is down, right is left.
Brian just goes in circles.
And so we have 2 choices. We could take the equipment off, which will make the crane not usable, which we don't want to make the crane not usable. And send the stuff to Canada to have it all reconfigured and rebuilt.
Yeah.
At probably a higher cost than just replacing it all at the $5,600. We were gonna buy it direct, would have been a little bit cheaper, but due to tariffs and trying to get it across the border, we have to go through a US company.
Geotech survey and stuff. like
Yeah,
that.
it's starting to feel that way. So anyway, we decided just to go through Nelson Trucks, who does our crane work.
You just
for us.
approve that.
And so I think I attached it.
How tall's the crane?
Oh,
It's,
Yeah.
it's after the.
26 inch on the crane, 20,
Oh,
28.
Would it put up a wind spot?
I wanted to let the board,
Yeah.
I attached on this too,
Yeah,
the Tillamook we do. You saw the contract amount. That's coming up next, but that should be part of the, construction cost. We don't have to pay it right now.
Yeah, but the point you made to me was the 180 days that this proposal is good for. And the odds are that we're gonna be beyond that by the time we enter into any agreement with PUD.
So I sent a copy of this to our electrical engineer.
Okay,
He was completely unaware, without a finished design, why. Because you have no vaults, you have no electrical vaults. So they're finishing the geotech work so they can finish putting where the vaults are gonna go. So that he doesn't know why, Tillamook PUD sent this so early. So everybody's confused. I just wanted the board to see that, there'll be a cost for PUD to bring power down there.
Tony's always a little confusing.
Yeah. So anyway, maybe I put too much in there. So I have the authority to spend it, but I wanted the board to know that we need to order the $5,695 controllers, and that's multiple units. So you can use it powered wireless, or you can use it connected hard cable. The board can approve it, or I'm not really asking for an approval.
I move, do you need a motion?
If it's within your authority, then we don't need to.
I push down here for the board to approve it.
Yeah,
So,
to be safe.
yeah, let's.
I move that we approve the radio remote kit and radio patch cable for Nelson trucking for the crane truck.
So second it.
all in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
Okay. So I think, Aaron, you have a copier. I took the copier off of here.
That's down, it's still lower on the agenda, old business.
And I will update the the operation summary for next month.
Okay, old business. We've been through the Avalon Pump Station project workshop, and we've done board duties and responsibilities, policy matters. A motion to approve the policy manual.
Make a motion to approve the policy. of the board meeting.
I'll second.
Second,
You seconded it.
okay, discussion.
Do we have a vice president?
Yeah, that was my question. When I read this, I was, what's this board vice president thing?
We've always had a vice chair as far back as I can remember.
Who is it now?
Who is the vice?
We don't have one.
It's not something I really follow that closely, but I always remember in the past, we had a chair and a vice chair.
It's like I've been taking over when,
Yeah,
well, we're supposed to have a vice chair.
Yeah.
I've been usurping authority. So anyway, if we're gonna say that the vice chair takes over when you're not here, we should have one.
Yes,
So we can do that later if you want. If we're gonna approve this, that's implicitly approving appointments.
okay,
I don't think it needs to be on the agenda. If we don't do it.
excuse me,
You can just do it now.
you mean?
We're in the middle of approving.
No, we can approve this as long as we know
Yeah.
we're gonna have a chair to
Oh, okay.
comply with it.
So, any other comments?
That was my only question.
All in favor of accepting the duties and responsibilities policy manual, say aye.
Hi.
Aye. All right, I'd like to make a motion to appoint a vice chair, which I would suggest that that vice chair also be the secretary of the organization. What?
Why is that?
Why is that?
Because otherwise you're gonna have to be the secretary.
Yeah,
Or
Or-
Jeff.
Or Jeff, but
or
he's
just,
gone so often.
well. Don't everybody look at their shoelaces, as somebody said earlier this evening.
We have
two
two.
open,
We do. Jim and Jeff are both member at large.
Jim's facilitated lots of meetings.
Vice chair?
Or secretary.
Whatever works.
You get to choose. Flip a
I-
coin.
I'd probably be better at the first one than the second one.
Better,
No secretary on this end.
All it is signing
So we're
stuff.
doing process of elimination. I believe he went with like Jared.
You can make
Yeah.
me secretary, it's fine.
I'll go vice chair.
okay. We have a willing volunteer for vice chair
Democracy at work.
How long does this? Wow.
Oh, now we ask.
until you die.
It's a lifetime appointment.
It's a yearly appointment according to the board manual.
Where do you go to get the tattoo?
Okay,
Secret handshake.
Brian's got it, we'll do it in-house. like-
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We stopped doing that a long time.
Now you can't retire till I do.
Right.
all right, so we have a vice chair.
Put that on your resume.
Yeah, that'd look good.
District Facebook page.
They do make it in.
And this just came in. Dan got it.
Yeah.
I thought we decided we weren't gonna do it. But we did.
Well, Jerry made a good case of why not to do it.
But I don't know that Simeon really got a fair shot.
I appreciate the memo from Kibble. Houston and
This isn't something you have to decide tonight.
there was nothing on here that was surprising to me.
Right.
Clearly, if we were gonna do any kind of social media, we would need to have all of this in place.
I think some time needs to be spent on who would be in charge, who would be the one. I think we need to figure all that out first. Who would be the one.
Only But I've heard the discussion of all of this and just want to confirm where I am, so I'm ready to vote on it if it's going to be a motion. But if you don't feel like we had enough time to discuss it, then I'm willing to hold off. But I don't think we should stretch this out if there's a clear majority.
You still want to see what happened?
What's ironic is that I'm not a social media user. I do not have a Facebook page. I don't have an Instagram account. You know, my children find me to be a Luddite and a dinosaur.
Me too.
There are some messages about your extended car warranty that you haven't paid.
On the other hand, I also understand that a lot of people rely on social media these days for information. That's where they go first. So that still seems to me that it's a conversation that we need to have as a district to say, either we want to pursue it and we have to do these things, or we don't.
Or is there an alternative?
Okay.
I think some of the functions that you talked about were basically wanting to get information out into the community that might otherwise be provided by other people and are not answering it. It's like a political campaign. You just disarm. And there are things that would be worthwhile to have us be the source of the information. I just disagree that a Facebook page with the kind of the expectations of public commentary and stuff after, which we would have to probably not have, which might make it even more of a negative than a positive as a PR move, where we could instead add a page to our website that is for announcements, or we could include it in our billings as a hard document that would probably maybe have more chance of being read than something that's in the air on the internet. Those are alternatives that come to mind for me, is that we can be the source of information in those, I think, important but probably rare situations where we want to do that without committing to all of the mechanics and risks of a Facebook page.
So Jeff, you guys have one. I mean, how does it?
Kind of like I talked about when we were discussing this, we use ours for developing community donations and things like that. So we're notifying people about activities.
Right.
And trying to draw donations to help the volunteers. So I'm not sure it's the same thing. I don't disagree with Simeon. I mean, there needs to be a place for information. Ours turns out to be more of a gossip channel than really anything. So I don't know if it's going to be helpful or hurtful if we had a sewer main fail, that we got that information out to like the Headlight Herald and to the Oceansider and to the radio station to put out a PIO statement and put it on the website, as opposed to having a Facebook page.
We're gonna wind up on Facebook anyway, no matter how we get the information out, somebody's gonna put it on Facebook.
Well, even if we were to do something with the Pioneer or Headlight Herald, they're on Facebook. We can actually still get it on Facebook without owning a Facebook page.
Well, I think Simeon was more talking about control of the information. Once it hits Facebook, most of it becomes misinformation, people's opinions, that other people take us back.
But then they can go to our website, which is the streamline that we will have our information on if they want to know.
Could we have an announcements page
There,
on the
There,
website?
There
we
is
have
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
through Streamline.
It's on our
website.
I've never looked at it.
I don't think that there's anything on there right now. It will just tell you if there's anything upcoming, but we don't have anything.
But isn't it also true, Jeff, that you have to have a personal page in order to start one for a business or third party it? So now you're making somebody here use their personal page
Well, no, it's not. It's
Or
not
get a
like that.
personal page.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yes,
You
You
have to
can
have a-
toggle back and forth. Base account has to be a personal account first.
So the district's page is connected to my personal,
Right.
and for me, it was connected to Tim.
I
Which
did see,
puts that person under the Cable Huston memo, puts that person in some liability because if I say something hurtful on my personal page, then they can even translate that to the district.
I didn't think of that.
and I did see that they said, obviously, because we're still special district, so everything that's on there is public record too. So anything that we would post, anybody would be able to ask to see that because it would be a public records request as well.
on our personal page. That would,
I don't know if it's linked together. I don't know. How it
I don't
works.
know. We've only had requests off of the Facebook page because there have been a couple where I've blocked comments because people started getting vulgar online and I blocked them. But we took like a screenshot of it before. Because I think people like the security risk get on there just for entertainment.
So out of curiosity, how much of your day is taken up with having to manage that Facebook? Do you spend hours on it? Do you?
I'd say an hour to 2 hours a day because you have to screen comments. Because if you want to stop the comments, then it, like you said, it kind of creates a backlash. That all of a sudden, then people start on your next post start going, why'd you shut off comments? And you know, then you're having to block people. And
so in that case, whatever person gets deemed the person that has to make the page, that could take up hours of their day.
well, it's going to be Jim, so it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, go ahead.
Vice chair, wouldn't it be secretary work?
No,
I
voted no.
I'm not keen on the fact, I saw what happened during the pump station spill. And how that blew through Facebook so fast, and it was all misinformation.
Especially a high profile thing like that. And especially.
People are gonna post their opinion of whatever happened or whatever's going on.
And I do agree, if we block comments from happening, we're not gonna look.
City of Tillamook does it all the time.
They do, but then it
there's
makes,
comments about it.
then you wonder, what are they hiding? We don't want to be in that same boat.
And that ends up, when we do that, then that goes into like the little Netarts pages or some of the little. They won't let me comment, what are they hiding yet?
Do you get an increase of phone calls to the office?
But we,
I haven't.
Can we just focus on the website and do every other month or something, because if that goes to everybody.
So did you earlier talk about a newsletter? Was that
We
something
could
you
do an
mentioned earlier
electronic
today?
version of a newsletter.
No, but we have
I
one,
don't have an email.
right?
Something that's just a
A webpage?
every 6
Well,
months.
that's a problem too. There's a lot of people don't have emails.
Right.
We do have quite a bit though in our system. We'll create an email list.
But people will go on to pay that, if we have it on the website, and we go on to pay the bill, it'll be on the website. They'll see it when they go there.
That's what I'm saying.
So most all of our customers would see whatever we post every month anyway.
But, I mean, what's the percentage of customers that do pay by email?
By website.
Online.
I think I did 600 and some odd payments today or something like that.
Yeah.
On autopay,
On autopay,
and that's not
just-
the counting people that call in.
Well,
Yeah,
autopay-
that's
autopay
strictly-
people won't be viewing the website. They're on autopay. At
Right.
least that's what I.
And I, in my browser, I have the payment site bookmarked, so I never go through the website to pay my sewer bill.
Right, so people have that option too. So if you're just the one that's
Right.
going straight to paying, you
I do it
might,
with chat.
But if it's important enough and you want to know what's on there,
Yeah.
you would go there to look.
yeah.
Like,
I think we should explore other ways of making our position known other than Facebook, because I agree there's a need. I wish we had trumpeted the fact that we had no increase in our rates this year. That was a waste of PR opportunity, especially when the water district was up 20%.
And we got blamed in with the water district on Facebook that we raised our rates, but they got the water and the sewer mixed up.
Yeah, so I mean, my objections are Facebook
No, yeah, no, and it's what,
centered.
there's a reason I'm not on social media.
But I have been able to tell a lot of people who have called, what are your new rates? Well, actually, we didn't have to raise them, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's great. So there are a lot of people that have called in.
Yeah.
Good.
Because they were expecting a rate increase, and a lot of them have those bank checks. so
Yeah, they
have
want to
up it.
change their auto pay. Yeah.
I think it's a major, I think it's a major change that's a headache they'll need right now. At least from a staffing point, if you want to hear that.
So there's no motion.
Table it until
Yeah, I
June.
think there's no.
Table it
So
until
John,
June.
there's no motion.
Excuse me,
There's no motion.
all right?
Can we take that off?
Yeah. Well,
It can be removed.
let's
from that.
let's just withdraw it.
Copy machine.
We got one.
No, so last, Jerry, you wanted to just make sure that the contract read the same as the email.
Yes.
So I had him draft the two contracts, just be the exact same as what they offered us. last
Oh,
month.
Okay. So
So it's identical,
Oh,
so if you
thank you.
guys,
It's in the.
so we can approve that then
Okay.
and get the delivery date scheduled.
thank you for taking the trouble. to do that.
Well, we would have had to draft the contract in.
We need approval. So make a motion to accept the updated contract for confirmed contract,
The proposed
So-
the
contract.
proposed
Yeah.
contract
Yeah.
for the copy machine.
Second,
We'll put that on Facebook.
Well, I'm gonna spend a couple of some time reviewing this contract.
You want my readers?
Oh, sorry, I can't
So
read it
do
because
we
I
need a
can't see
motion?
it.
To do this?
Yes, it will be approval.
I'll
So
move.
do we have a second?
Oh,
Second.
so you want some time to read it?
That's good. I was just trying to make a joke.
behave.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
John needs another cookie.
He's got workshop-itis.
Well, at least we have somebody here trained with first aid, so you know
Yeah.
what steps to take.
New business. Resolution 2605. Motion to accept 2605.
Make a motion to accept 2605.
Second,
I'll second it.
discussion. You or Dan want to explain?
Probably all three of us can, me, JC, and Dan. So this is, so we had our auditors come. And we finished up our audit this year. And when they were here, they told us that this is a new requirement for the GASB. Basically, anything for every category in your budget, anything that you go above or below, they want you to give a percentage rate. And then if you go above and below that percentage rate, then they want us to be able to just explain why we went above or below spending on that. So like our system development fund, we always budget that we'll spend $1 million. Sometimes we only spend $3,000 that year. They want us to explain why we budgeted that much, but we didn't spend it. And then that will go in our audit for every year, anything that's in that category. We picked 35%. So as long as we stay in that 35%, we won't have to explain any category, but anything above or beyond.
There's some, that 35% will mainly come into question, like we're doing the Avalon pump station, and we have to budget for the thing, but it could take multiple years. And,
We're going through the same thing. If we don't use money for the boat program, we roll it over. Why did you roll it over?
Right.
Well, we didn't have the boat one already.
yeah,
Yeah, and they basically said it's really easy. There's no right or wrong. You just have to say, we just didn't spend this money we thought we were going to.
Just, we can explain to the public.
Yeah, they said it
that-
was for transparency.
Mhm.
It's not a finding, it's not a write-up. They said it can be even a copy and paste every
Every
year. If it's just, and it's only gonna be in our audit, so it's only gonna be visible to people who sit down and read our big, thick audit. But
And we had no findings this year.
Oh,
they did say follow up with a resolution, just so the board is aware of the percentage that we picked. So we're all on the same page. We can modify this too. So if we pick 35% this year and we think that we're way off, we can always let them know next year a different amount and do a new resolution.
And the qualitative factor is just anything that we feel obliged to explain beyond.
Yes.
From the government, we're here to help. It'll be pretty easy to explain why you budgeted this and you have to spend it. Sometimes it goes into a couple of different fiscal years. And, you know, it'll be spent in the following.
Oh,
it's just
like-
notes. It's just basically notes.
Yes.
Yes.
Or just like emergencies. We had to budget in case we have an emergency. We didn't have any. You
Even the
know,
auditor was
something like that.
confused why they had to do it like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
We done.
what they require. So we followed along and we're.
All in favor, say aye.
Right. There's a long one.
Right, correspondence, we already dealt with Diana and Amber. Then we have the email from the fire district. Couple ways
And
we
we,
can handle this.
we attached the invoice.
Yeah.
It's the same invoice, right? Yeah.
Couple, if we generally agree a couple ways this could be handled, Dan could just go ahead and handle it. Or we could do something formal through the board. So I don't know. I guess,
Oh, it's within Dan's discretionary.
excuse me,
The amount is within Dan's
Yeah,
discretionary.
but I'm fine, but I'd like to open it for any discussion that anybody would like to have before we go in whatever direction we're gonna go.
Okay, I've got some comments and I don't know if, I am fine with Jeff in here, but I don't know if he needs to.
Yeah, well, there's no formal litigation that I'm aware
There's
of.
no conflict or claim.
No.
Well, it's just a proposal, so good. Okay, so, as I understand the history of it, basically, not the merits of the whole dispute, but that in working to come to some resolution, Dan threw out a figure of $2,500 in discussions with Jeff, and then we got a proposal for about $300 more than that, or whatever. Here were the pros and cons that occurred to me, because I think it's significant. Well, I'll just give my reasons and say them there. The figure that Jeff has proposed included splitting the fire department's costs of the event, but didn't include our costs of the event to be split. So it didn't include our overtime on the Sunday. It didn't include materials I understand we provided for the repair. And so that doesn't account for that.
Just to clarify, I
Yeah.
didn't have any of that information and the board was not, there was very little discussion. They were very pleasant and amenable. They said, would you just ask them if we can split it?
Okay,
So there wasn't, if we need to add in yours and then do something different.
actually, well, let me go through
Yeah.
here, because there is no conflict. There were pros that occurred to me and there were cons that occurred to me. I thought it was important to put on the table that we also incurred expenses or in the incident, getting people out there on a Sunday. We provided the materials for it, and we were absorbing all of the cost of that under this proposal. Second, I think the way I read it, it included some costs that the fire department would have incurred anyway if we hadn't been involved in this issue. So we're now kind of paying for some of the cost of moving that line that probably would have been incurred anyway. It's just a matter of the timing of when it became known that it was necessary to move the line. So on the con side, it doesn't include some things that the department is out. On the pro side, I think we learned some significant lessons. Dan learned some significant lessons for the future that's going to improve our training of staff of how to proceed on location issues. That's got a value to us, and that should be considered. And I think Dan should have and did have the authority, and I completely commend him for offering $2,500 right off the bat before all of these other issues were known. And I feel a strong obligation to back him up on that, what I consider to be a responsible and conciliatory move. So I came out of this saying, I would just like to go with the $2,500 that Dan did it and not include any of our costs. So, I mean, I think they would probably even out anyway. So if we just say, okay, we will absorb all of our extra costs and pay $2,500.
I think that would be perfect. And Jeff also learned a lot of lessons. Not just Dan.
Well, I mean, it's a kind of discussion that can get swept under the table, but I saw it as a learning opportunity. And I also saw it as a way to establish goodwill. And it's very important to me to have good relations with the fire department. And I think this is just.
We appreciate everything that the crew did to jump on it.
So, and we appreciate the board's approach too. Now, I'm only speaking for myself. That is my preferred proposal, is we go ahead and back down up on the 2,500. And that discussion did not include our costs. And I'm saying, fine, let's just leave those costs as a bill.
So what I learned from it is that institutional knowledge, I was completely unaware of your project down there. And had I been involved, I would let you know. I wouldn't have known where the pipe exactly was, but I would have told you it went right across through here. But the staff didn't know.
Right.
I was the only one here that's been here for so long that actually dug that up once before to repair it. So, which is making me reflect on succession and transition. How much knowledge do I pass on to the new staff or whatever? So, yeah, it was a learning experience where the training needs to be picked up on my side with our employees.
It was certainly a learning experience on my part.
And from my point of view, the sewer line actually serves the motel.
Yes.
And when it was their property, it wasn't a problem where the line goes. But it does kind of seem to me that when that property was sold, there should have been a conversation about at least the location of the sewer line, if not actually moving it.
Yeah.
Or an easement.
And that was a huge learning point on my part. Dan had that knowledge. And
because, sewer lines running across somebody else's property, that's a bad idea.
So this is uncommon. This is more common than you think. People buy lots. They split them later. Because it was the Sea Lion, when it was Sea Lion Motel, they're the ones that split it. They rarely ever look to see where their sewer line goes to. There's no easement, so when the fire department bought it, they didn't know it was there. They had no idea. You had no idea it was a sewer line running through your property. Okay, I did, but because I was there, I didn't call it. But anyway, so the point is, this is not uncommon. You're not the first, and you won't be the last that come across this. But when they split the properties to sell off a lot, they don't think about where their sewer line or water lines go. Yeah. So there was no way the fire department was gonna know that was in there, because there are no drawing files. There's nothing anywhere. I happened to look at, took a picture of it back in 2012, 2010, took pictures of it when we had to repair it. So anyway.
So I don't know how my recommendation translates into action, because it's still considered in your discretion. That's just my point of view.
So this 4950 is what is the overall cost?
that was what the contractor charged to come out that Sunday for the repairs and replace, and ended up doing the pipe, moving the pipe, and adding the metal.
And your number is,
Yeah.
My number is 2,500.
Was agreed.
My number's 2,500. Under there, it would be 28 something, but doesn't reflect the fact that we had expenses for labor and parts that we contributed to the repairing.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the board would be fine if we paid the whole thing. Because I think it was just a big, huge misunderstanding more on my part than Dan's. So I was asked to approach our board with the invoice and ask them. I was asked by John to go to the board. So I brought it up at the board meeting and said, you know, I know what Steve would like me to ask about a
And
number.
the reason that was done was the original invoice was sent over to us
Right.
to be fully paid.
Oh, okay. Oh, the 49.50?
Yeah, the whole thing. And
Oh,
when
okay.
things evolved out, I asked Jeff, after consulting with Dan, to go back and talk to his board and see if some other arrangement could be worked out, other than us being stuck with the whole
So,
amount.
so we're basically helping them out with half.
Exactly.
Well,
Right.
No, it'd be less than half of that. But when you factor in what we also contributed in terms of overtime labor and it comes out to be a split, basically. I think it would be a wash.
I'm looking at this as what it would cost us for training.
Okay.
Our guys needed updated training on how to what to look for in files. So we've gone more in depth on training all the guys on what to do when you're not sure. Make sure you make the property owner, you know, it didn't help you were a board member, even though you've never used that with any of us out in the field. So, but I use it as, this was a training class of exactly on our side, what not to do. Okay.
You know, there were certain things that were not done exactly properly on both sides of the matter. And I think I would have felt somewhat differently if it was a private entity. But it's the fire department, it's us. In either case, whoever foots the bill, basically the customers are the ones that in a sense end up paying it. Either
Right.
way.
Right.
So, I mean,
And Jim, normally this comes up, if he had applied for a building permit from the county and you were put a bathroom in there, we would have been alerted for sewer.
Yeah.
We would have done the research for you at that time to let him know what if there were any conflicts. But because you weren't putting in a bathroom, there was no sewer, so I didn't get into the county that they. There was just I see a lot of gaps now that we know what to look for on our side. You know. Because you can't expect the property owner to know all this either.
Right.
Again, the property owner can't expect us to know everything that goes on inside private property. But we could have done the information up had I known.
Had I called him.
Yeah.
What's that?
Had I called Dan, this wouldn't have been a problem. It was my fault for not going to Dan first and saying, you know, Dan didn't even know we were putting in a boathouse, much less that.
Yeah.
We were gonna
So that was my surprise on the text.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about something down by the bay.
So
Well, I think we should take Jerry's proposal.
Well, I think it's within Dan's discretion. I think we say, Dan, do what you think is best.
Yeah, the board wouldn't, they were very happy that Dan and I had talked about all this and gotten everything worked out. I don't think that money was the huge issue, but
I just want to be a good neighbor.
we appreciate that. Well, I appreciate that, but I'm sure they do.
Well, there was some learning that needed done on our side.
Yeah.
So,
as far as the minute, am I just saying that the board has decided that Dan is under Dan's discretion or how do we?
when I first looked at it and you and I met face to face, I'd already determined, I did that week-long investigation on it and I determined that we shared some, we shared some responsibility.
So it's a done
And
deal.
that was the offer that I made to in my office.
The 2,500.
so
So there doesn't need to be a motion.
No,
No, but is that what you want me to say, that you have decided to just let Dan?
Yeah.
the board provided input, Dan's input to what he should do, but left it ultimately up to his discretion. Or however the secretary wants to say that.
No executive session. We are adjourned at 6:55.
Take cookies home.
Betcha.
Yeah.
You betcha.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
No, I said, I think we should split it with you. That's Carol's one. Okay, so it does now. That reflects it. Thank you. Thank you.
No,